Hey folks, I hope you're all having a good day. I am doing a reading on who Jaclyn Hill is and what her life story is going to end up being. I'm going to take care of some tarot cards, if you will, to kind of get into who she is as a person. Spirit wants them all reversed. Not half and half. Sometimes I've noticed that Spirit does that for a person who is truly by the wayside, who is going off into an area where they shouldn't be because it's of the shadow, it's evil even. I'm sensing some evil intent at the very, very core of Jaclyn Hill. But it might look like just, general fuckery. Like she's trying to scam people and that kind of thing. Apparently that's why Spirit wants it all reversed. But Spirit will flip some cards over. That's interesting. I shuffle until Spirit says stop. Excuse me. And Spirit wants me to take from the bottom. Okay, well, that's the Knight of Swords. This is a kind of a teenager-ish energy, if you will. Very good with words, but is manipulative. This is someone who refuses to grow out of that teenage phase, if you will. This is someone who's kind of a smartass, a smart aleck, as we say around here in Texas. Or we used to anyway. I don't hear newer generations saying it. But she's definitely a smartass, and she just carries this general, 13 going on 35 kind of energy. Or even vice versa, 35 going on 13. There's just this general energy, she doesn't ever level up in how she communicates with people. She expects them to behave like servants without ever understanding who they are as people, why they operate, that sometimes life happens to them and they still have to do their jobs around her. She might be the kind of person to I need to speak to your manager, right? She's absolutely one of those Karens, if you get her in the right, if she's in the right mood. I hear that she's extremely rude to service, and when I say I hear that she is, I'm speaking to Spirit. I'm hearing from Spirit that she is rude to service workers, to restaurant workers in particular, for whatever reason. She's kinder to retail, when she buys Vuitton or something like that. She's nice to them. Bratty is what I'm getting. And by the way, before I get too deep into this, what I said before and what I say forever after this reading is all alleged for entertainment purposes only, okay? This is someone who is very used to getting her own way, who is used to using her talents to ultimately serve herself and not serve her people. Because the Empress isn't just sitting on her laurels. There's the implication that she's worked her butt off to be able to have these nice things in life. It's why she's a wonderful partner to the Emperor. But here, she doesn't like to work hard. She wants to be given things in life. She likes to be taken care of, but doesn't like to do the stuff she doesn't like to be loyal to people who take good care of her, for instance. She's loyal when it serves herself. A deeply manipulative person is what I'm getting here. So across both, I know I said that earlier with the Knight of Swords in reverse, but I'm getting that she manipulates to make herself comfort. Her comfort and her pleasure comes first before everything else, unfortunately. Fruits of labor are bad. Fruits of labor are negative, that they just kind of fall off the tree without ever ripening or whatever like that. It's like green fruit that just rots. It never gets to the ripe stage. It's weird. I mean, that's the image I'm getting. Hey, looky there. There's the other. I kind of expected to see that card. I don't know why. But yeah, that's the Three of Cups in reverse. That's drama. She loves to create this. She enjoys this. She feels important. She feels like she's on top of the world when people are fighting about her. It's like that's how she gets her loyalty from fans. Maybe not necessarily from family members or friends, but she doesn't mind if that happens either. Damn. Okay. That was the bottom of the deck energy. So you could say that that is kind of where she is at the very, very core of herself. Empress should be upright for her. Honestly, it should be upright for everyone, and we should all have our own balances of the Emperor and Empress within ourselves. Very personal to us. Hers is completely out of balance. I don't know that she's going to correct it in this lifetime. We'll take a look at her life story with a grand tableau a little bit later. I don't know that this is someone who corrects their behavior, not even after they go through some serious life events that would change other people. It feels like she's the kind of person to loop back into what makes her comfortable right here and to continue on with speech patterns that serve her, communicate with other people, and think in ways that serve her ultimately. This is someone who does not learn her lessons. There might be some social situations that blow up in her face and she might cry over it. Like say, for instance, she loses a best friend or two because they had some fights because she was selfish. She'll cry about it for a little while, but then she won't learn her lesson. She'll revert back to who she was and just keep plowing forward because this is what makes her comfortable. Changing her mind, or I should say, changing to be a better person, changing how she operates here, makes her fundamentally uncomfortable. Her parents didn't do it. A lot of her family members do it. And the people who did in her family were the black sheep in the family. And she doesn't want to be a black sheep. She does have that pick-me energy in a way, but also wants to blend in. She wants to be that stereotypical white chick. Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. All out of balance. Yeah. And it falls on top of the Knight of Swords here. So, whenever the universe tries to correct things for her, or to encourage things to correct her, to encourage her to correct her own life, she doubles down. She keeps throwing everything out of balance. Sometimes the universe will hand her a situation that's more favorable to her, and she'll find a way to fuck that up too. The universe has been quite generous with her, and she's squandered it all. Oh, okay. That's a tower moment that she doesn't see coming because she made a particular choice. She made the wrong choice. Who is she really as a person? She's the kind of person to have consistent tower moments because she makes the wrong choice, because she's forever out of balance, because she refuses to grow up. And here we've got pictured an adult. I was just this is also Empress energy that thinks they're a child, for instance. Excuse me. Forever out of balance, forever getting tower moments out of the blue. She gets all as an Empress, she should be getting these kinds of warnings. She should be an incredibly intuitive person who sees things coming down the road long before they actually get to her house, so to speak. But when she isn't tapped into her intuition because she chooses not to change as a person, she makes all kinds of bad choices and doesn't understand why consequences are the way that they are. Like lipsticks, for instance. She made a bad choice with the lipsticks, with the hair and the screwed up containers and all that kind of stuff, right? But then didn't understand why all those consequences were coming at her. It's because the universe is kind of upset with how she squanders all the gifts that it gives her. Her wealth, being born into a wealthy family and being continually having access to a lot of resources, not just money, but a lot of the things that come along with having money, right? She is utterly spoiled by this, but lashes out at the people who give it to her. And that's a major choice here. This might be about fans, lashing out at fans, alienating people who are trying to come out and support her through the stuff that she sells. There's one of the cards that flipped up. That could be about a marriage. Okay, no. I'm getting that she's deeply afraid of development. The Hierophant is about being asked to come up to new spiritual levels and following a particular individual to get up to that point. She is terrified of this. And that might be why she's in her Empress in reverse energy, is because an Empress, when she's upright, is not afraid. Because she's in tap with the universe, she knows what's coming. She might have a bit of dread if she knows that something dramatic is coming, but she knows what's coming. She feels supported. Her inner peace is centered within her. I don't feel like Jaclyn has any inner peace whatsoever. This tells me that she doesn't have any inner peace whatsoever. She's deeply afraid, a coward even. We come back to this childish energy. Yeah, okay, this is something about marriage. Who is she really as a person? She's afraid to get married again. She's afraid that it's going to go wrong. She's feeling cowardly about this. She has no inner strength. She relies on other people to be her rocks that she anchors herself on. And then when those rocks get busted up, she's just over here in this temperance in reverse energy. She's just thrown for a loop. So it's interesting. She might be coming in contact with some spiritual leaders in her marriages, for instance, like with John Hill, for instance. That might have been a spiritual opportunity that maybe she chose not to learn from for whatever reason. She's afraid that it's going to happen over and over again. It's probably because she doesn't have much love to give to herself or to the people around her. If her Empress is in reverse, why would her cup of love be upright? She can't love her, she loves herself in a negative way. I wouldn't call her love for herself positive at all. When it places her comfort above everything else, including her personal development, that's not that's not giving yourself your own cup of love, right? That's not being strong for yourself. That's not becoming the best possible person that she could become. So she meets people in marriage who are supposed to be those role models for her, but she rejects them on an internal level. She wants them for the role that they provide, like, I'm married. She likes being able to say, I'm married. She likes being able to say, my husband, right? Interesting. For whatever reason, Ned Fulmer came into my head just now. There's that kind of my wife energy, and instead she's saying my husband kind of energy when she is not emotionally available to them, let alone to herself. Look at this. Ace of Cups and the Empress are all in reverse. She's numb. Like any emotional feelings have been just kind of, I'm doing dumping motion here, sorry. All of that has been dumped out in favor of the comfortable things that wealth provides. So Spirit says, that's enough tarot. Let me get set up for that grand tableau, okay? Okay, folks, so let's do a grand tableau. I said that we would do this. Oh my God, I just realized. Oh, Lord. Uh-oh. 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 Okay. Folks, I'm asking what her life story is going to end up being if she makes absolutely no changes whatsoever. She continues to do things as she will. She doesn't become a better person or anything like that. I can see right away with the heart of the matter that she is going to have some real difficulties being aloof from all the confusion to do with the choices that she makes. She continually makes risky choices. Look at this, literally risky choices right there, and doesn't understand why stuff happens. It's going to be difficult for her. She's going to do her best to stay aloof and separate from all this mud and muck that she's created for herself. And it's going to be virtually impossible here. Look at this, and look at how she's facing the men in her life. This is significant. This is about her marriage partners, basically. There is a selfish male in her future. I don't know if it's the one that she's engaged to right now or if it's someone in the future. But it looks like it's in the past, actually, so this may be the person that she's already engaged to. This is a deeply selfish individual he's smart. This is book smart, and he's got some degree, like some street smarts, but not as much book smarts. This is somebody who's learned, who knows how to manipulate. There are some secrets that he's got behind the scenes that Jaclyn doesn't know about, and it's going to open her up to a world of destruction, and it's just going to repeat well into the future is what I see. So this current marriage that she's coming up on, it looks like it's going to go far, far into the future the consequences of this relationship are going to go into the future long after they've split up. They will most likely split up, and it's, again, because she's not so much there for them as the role that they provide. She wants to be married. She wants to be able to say, my husband. That's what she wants to be able to say. If she does get into future relationships, there's a real risk that she's just going to continue to be in cycles that imitate the one that she's in with her current fiance, okay? All alleged for entertainment purposes only. I could be completely wrong, okay? I want to look at this row. I see a difficult, naive woman here in Jaclyn, and just kind of like we read with the tarot cards, this is someone who might have something like oppositional defiant disorder, or not like literally, but she likes to be defiant. She likes to have her own way. She likes to be a bit of a spoiled brat. It might feel like it's a status symbol for her to be high maintenance and a bit of a spoiled person. She moves quickly into new relationships, is what I see. She gets a lot of her value from being in new relationships. Excuse me, kitty. Excuse me, kitty. Thank you. So here is her heart of the matter. We can also look at her cards of fate, and I see her going through, you know what, because he lands here, and we've got here, I'm going to call this an abusive relationship that she's got coming up. It's not something I wish on a person, but the Temperance card is coming into my mind right now. And I noticed that the Temperance card in reverse came up above the Hierophant. Her marriages are always going to have that kind of destructive pattern to it. These are related. They're kind of like knighting, if you will. It's a chess move, but you can also apply it to Grand Lenormand. And he's going to open her up to some really destructive cycles. There's going to be an end to some things that she was interested in. Look at this. An end to her money. An end to emotional deception. Or at least she's going to have a reckoning with all the things that she's done and said in the name of money. That's absolutely something I see. And husband's going to usher it in. He's going to put her on a destructive journey that we're not necessarily going to see behind the scenes. But look at how he runs into knighting again. Look at how he runs into her cards of fate. She is also part of her own cards of fate too. Basically, she can change this anytime she wants. The universe has given her a tremendous amount of power, and she squanders all of it. It's a deeply abusive person, and I see deception being part of this entire relationship and just being what she does for the rest of her life. I see her being a deceptive person for the rest of her life. She's not a good person. The people that she dates aren't good people. I don't know whether her parents, whether her family of origin were good people either. These are not upstanding people who go for their best selves. The universe serves them life lessons, and they ignore them. They run away from them even. Let's take a look at more. You know what? Yeah. I do want to do like a 9-card kind of spread because there's a lot going on here because it involves her cards of fate. Also, this. I'm seeing her deceptive patterns being exposed in the future, and she's going to be utterly confused as to why people keep revealing her. She's going to be like, why do you keep attacking me? This is lolcow energy. And it's not something that I would normally apply to Jaclyn. You know, normally I use the word lolcow to talk about other people, like Christian, for instance. But that's the energy that I'm getting from Jaclyn. She's going to stay in that Knight of Swords reversed energy, that teenager-ish energy, and be all bitchy and complainy, but never change anything about, come on, Tifa, oh my goodness, but never change anything about how she operates. Did you see my cat just wipe the Grand Lenormand thing like it was like dirty or something? It's brand new. She wants to be fed in 45 minutes. It's not time yet. She just got fed a few hours ago, and she's going to get some more food here in just a bit. Now she's leaving because she knows that she heard the F word, the feed word. Yeah, there she goes. All kinds of lies are going to be exposed, and she's going to be nasty to the people who expose it. She might dox them at some point if she gets she might not have the technical know-how, but her husband might. And she can always hire somebody who can dox people if she really, really wants to. An emotional revolution that's just going to just stick around. Like, you know what? This marriage relationship, after it starts and gets into full swing, whether they break up or not, it's going to permanently change her. And it's really going... Look at how this... It's literally isolating her from her community. That's literally what this means right here. You can read sometimes you can read these like sentences sometimes. It's occasionally that freaking clear. Yeah, this marriage that she's going into is going to isolate her even further from her audience. And then people are going to expose her lies because they don't have a connection to her anymore. I see a forever conflict with her relationship with risk. A conflict-filled relationship with risk that she takes with the public, with her social circles. She's going to be continually a nasty person. Like, you might see that more explicitly in the future. She might do a good job of hiding it some days, and then other days she might actually get complacent, and you might actually see some video of her chewing somebody out or something like that, at like a Starbucks or something. Like, she might be really nasty. That's what I'm seeing, at least. And then people are going to expose her for it, and then she's going to feel all entitled, like, no, I deserve to fucking chew this service worker out. I'm paying for a service. I deserve the very, very best. This is just going to be a miserable person who goes through things over and over and over again, doesn't know why they're going through this miserable process, but medicates themselves all throughout. They could, like, Jaclyn might do some alcoholism, for instance. I don't know I don't know how she copes, right? I see some choices burying what she really, really wanted to do all along. There was something that she wished for that she didn't get to do, and that she might never be able to do. It may be that the universe blocks her completely for it because they said, that is one gift we're not going to give you. It is undeserved. It is unearned. And that might be just pretty much the end of her life story. Utterly, utterly sad. Chasing after wealth and none after that's external wealth, and did no work on creating internal wealth within her soul. Chasing all kinds of fame and fortune. She made a choice to do this. Okay, so she chose to chase fame and fortune at the cost of another dream that she might have had, a long, long-standing dream. Yep. So I pulled up the moon. So this is a deeply emotional thing that she's wanted for a long, long time, but has conflict. Okay. So there's something about this conflict that's going to expose whatever it was that she really, really wanted to do. There might be someone who reveals something. Oh, yeah. This is going to be about the establishment, Lily, not so much the sexual one. But when she starts to establish herself a little bit later in life, again, I sense that this is when all this stuff is really going to come to the surface. All the stuff that she was trying to hide about what she wanted. And when she sees what she wanted but didn't get, that's when she's going to become even more monstrous with people. She's going to lash out at the younger women who are coming up through the ranks, the people that she perceives to be a threat. She is going to be kind of Trisha Paytas. You remember when Trisha Paytas went after Charlie D'Amelio? It's that kind of energy, but well into the future. So I want to focus for just a second on Jaclyn, on her 9-card spread. So you can read Grand Tableaus all day long if you want. It's kind of why, they're so expensive for so many psychics and those kinds of, for so many readers to do that kind of thing. So this is who is in her past, right? So going past, present, and future, I can already see that this is a destructive person and has always been this way, probably because he grew up this way, grew up in a very nasty, cutthroat kind of household. Not hardly any love whatsoever. I guess love, if you want to consider fighting and conflict love, that's how he grew up, and that's how he thinks that people love each other. And he's bringing that energy into this new relationship with Jaclyn. Where does she... Okay, yep, public figure, literally, on the House of the Garden. She is a public figure, and he is headed for her. What do we got here? Oh, Tower, an isolated individual. So this is someone who probably doesn't have that many friends. His family might not like him very much, and that's coming from a family that was quite destructive themselves. Yeah, oh my goodness. The scythe on the whip. These people might have been physically violent with each other. With the kids, the husband with the mom, or the mom with the husband, or whatever. I said husband with the mom. There might have been a step-parent in his life, and that's where maybe some of the conflict is coming from here. But he's also making choices not to become a better person. At the end of the day, he can choose to be a better person. Okay, yep. It's a marriage contract, if you will. So it looks like parents had a really, really nasty marriage, and he's bringing that energy into Jaclyn's world. So, difficulty with a lot of drama. There you go. Jaclyn is a public figure who has a tremendous amount of difficulty with drama, and men who move quickly. I said earlier about how she moves quickly through love relationships because she's chasing something in them that she cannot get because she doesn't give it to herself. If she's the Empress in reverse, then she will always be chasing emperors who are also in reverse. They'll complement each other badly. They will never be the kind of upright couple who work together and change the world together. They're never going to be that kind of person. Tears through these kinds of people and is attracted to people who are in and out, who are as emotionally unavailable as she is. In the future, I see her being deeply isolated from emotions that could change who she is as a person. She, I sense, is numb, that she empties her heart of any emotions and gives herself physical comforts, temporary comforts, like something to do with wealth, like wealth shopping, that kind of thing. She does whatever it takes to comfort this empty, hollow feeling, keeping her emotions so separate. You know, she doesn't give that relatable angle at all, and that's what you're feeling right here in the present. Like, I get that she's not even very relatable for, like, more wealthy people because there's just not much going on behind the scenes. She's emptied her heart and emptied her brain of all these wonderful things that the universe gave her. She could be a King of Swords, upright, if she had really worked. And honestly, she could still do this. This is her life story. If she makes no changes whatsoever, the future is always in motion. Maybe she does choose to become a better person. In that case, she can still become the King of Swords. It's never too late. She become the King of Swords upright, become an extremely intelligent person, use all the gifts that the universe has given her. But whether she's going to do that or not is up to her. Emotional intelligence is just part of a human being's intelligence. So something I see with him is that he's got some sexual hang-ups that come from his religious upbringing. Again, it may have to do with his parents. There may be some things that his parents raised him with in it sounds like Christian. There may be some things that he's carried along with him that he's not going to let go of. This is the carriage that he's hitched his horse to, or whatever that saying is. Now, normally this is a fast-moving card, but we have it like in diagonal with the anchor. Two completely opposite things, which tell like which is heavier, the horse or the anchor. Well, my goodness, it's going to be the anchor. If you ever see one of those things for a massive ship, I think you could probably like stack 2 or 3 people on top of each other. Like, they're just massive. But this is someone like, he is going to do sexual stuff that's just freaking creepy to the rest of us. He's got some sexual habits, some sexual mores and rules and regulations that are weird, backwater, kind of crumpled up. I like it, like kind of like your brain, instead of like expanding, it's all just kind of crumpled up in each other. He's just folded all kinds of weird, crazy rules on top of each other, and he says, this is how we do things. And she's going to have to just accept it because that's what good Christian women do, I guess, for her. I see a deeply abusive relationship, nonetheless. We've already said about how this is going to be a revolutionary relationship for her, that she's this person she's getting married to is going to be a big deal. This establishment conflict, excuse me. So there's going to be some drama in how she's chosen to establish herself. And that's creating all kinds of conflict when it comes to when she wants to separate herself from what's going on, she can't. Her difficulties will not let her out. Like, continually. Like, the cycle starts over and over and over again. But she constantly has to go through this reckoning over and over again. It's painful for her, but not so painful that she won't, it's not so painful that she's, changed for life, right? Universe is just a little bit gentle with her. She may have been through a rough past life, maybe not in the immediate past life. But I'm getting that, she lived kind of a sheltered, cushioned lifestyle in the previous life, a wealthy family there too. And she didn't learn lessons in the previous lifetime, and now she's having to go through the same thing in this lifetime to maybe learn the lessons that she didn't in the last one. I'm getting that she lived in the 1800s. 1840s to 1860s, maybe in Europe, for instance. That would be kind of cool. Well, I don't know. We didn't have modern medicine back then. Would that be cool? We didn't have refrigerators either. That wouldn't be cool. When we look at what's going on underneath, this is, okay, it's quickly going to get bad, is what I'm getting. Like, it's going to, like, it's almost like, now that we are married, I tell you what to do because I am your husband, you are my wife. This is it's that traditional biblical gender roles kind of thing, is what I'm getting. He's going to demand loyalty, is what I'm also getting. Like, I'm wondering if this, like, marriage contract isn't part of this demand that she be loyal to him. Like, show me your loyalty. Are you going to get married? Because, again, she's been the kind of person to just kind of, like, go through men kind of like Kleenex. Like, do they fulfill my need for the moment? Yes, this one does. Tomorrow, no, he doesn't. Let me discard him for someone else. Interesting. So he's definitely exerting his control, and we can see that over there with this particular marriage contract. This naivete, this deliberate naivete, I should say, ignoring all kinds of life lessons, is going to create all kinds of isolating destruction for her. I keep coming back to this destruction, I suspect, because a lot of people will see how much, money she has, and this lands on the house of the Clover, which is all about risk and reward as well. But the universe has already showered all kinds of rewards on her, but she does nothing but shitty things with it. So all she does is invite risk with her money. And I see that as being part of why she is so destructive. You might see a deeply wealthy person who gives off an image, who does everything she can to give off an image of wealth and happiness. This is a miserable woman I can see going on into the future. And she's not going to get happier. She is going to become more miserable going on into the future, and she's not going to know why. A hollow feeling, and she'll never get into that Knight of Swords energy upright, where she would say, okay, I am ready to explore why I say the things I do. I am ready to explore why I think about myself the way I do. She's never going to get to that point if she doesn't choose to change. My eye is being drawn to the Mice card, which is all about disease, illness, destruction, deterioration, that kind of thing. I see in the present just forever cycles. No, that's her, that's the present reality that she's in and will be in the future, just forever in a destructive cycle. And this marriage happens in the past, but it opens up other things in the future that would not have opened if she hadn't met this guy. Okay, well, I think the universe brought her this guy. Punishment for squandering all the wonderful things. There's something with her relationship with John that wasn't entirely on the up and up. It might have something to do, what's going on with her relationship now with this new guy might have something to do with what happened with her past marriage relationship, a little bit. It has mostly to do with her behavior. How she treated John in the past didn't particularly help. I'm also getting that they kind of deserved each other. Destructive risks, emotional risks in the past. It's what's led her here, basically. Continually, she has done her very, very best to hide away any kind of personal risk to herself. She doesn't want people to see that. She wants people to see her being able to just release lipsticks or, I don't know, pajamas just out of everywhere because she has that kind of wealth. For instance, she wants to be able to give that kind of thing, but her love, her emotions are destructive. She's pretty good at hiding it too. You might have to really get to know her to like see the depth of the destruction. She doesn't see. Because she's isolated from people, she surrounds herself with yes people, and she will not see the financial risks that come her way. Yep. The risks that she will take are going to rule the rest of her life. There's the bear. That's all about domination. She might be the kind of be one of those high risk, high reward kind of people who say that kind of thing. But it's always like the house always wins, right? And that's what's dominating her right now. What is she confused about? Selfishness. Her selfishness creates this miasma around her. Me, first and foremost. It goes along with his energy. Again, she attracted this. Absolutely she did. Destructive choices. That's all she makes here. It's interesting that we have the sun and the moon together now that I'm looking at this 9-card spread. Emotional destruction, basically. Inner conflict. Some people might see, because she hides so much from herself, she thinks she's hiding all this stuff from other people, but really astute people, emotionally intelligent people, are going to be able to see her exactly for who she is. And that's going to be all like people discussing her business, right? It's all out there. She's doing her best to hide it, but it's the worst kept secret. It's stupid. Okay. So sun is going to burn away some of the confusion around a destruction at some point in the future. There will be a moment where someone talks about the cycle of lies, and it's going to kind of reveal things to her for a second. It's going to be one of those life lesson opportunities that the universe keeps serving to her. And for just a moment, that might really, really sting Jaclyn. Like that Empress and that Knight of Swords in reverse are going to be crying and hurting in that moment, because she can plainly see that. And once again, she has that Empress energy going on. She has the capability to see that she's destroying herself and her future. She has that ability. But when someone shows a mirror to her that's bright and clear, it's going to be a bit of a breakdown moment for her. So, y'all, Grand Lenormand cards are like a Grand Tableau spread is no joke. My brain is already a little bit strung out on this. There's a lot going on here, and Spirit is also saying that it's time to stop. Folks, I appreciate you watching to this point. I wish that Jaclyn would become a better person, right? And I wish her a journey on to being a better person if that's something that she chooses. Y'all all have a good day, okay?